like earlier, but then my Wi-Fi cut off. Um, so I just gotta get to my thing so I can make sure I can see the chat. Okay. I have the concept art now for my fan tribe. They are the soul wings, and when I say soul wings, I mean not like SOL, like the Latin word for sun. I mean like SOUL. This is the concept. They have long, thin horns and like tufts of fur along their neck and back. They have large, feathered wings, and as such are typically sometimes mistaken for weird-looking sky wings. As for names, most of them have names like Hollow, Grim, Ghost, etc. Because I already have all that, I've just been sitting here drawing Malicious in all his glory, kind of, I guess. I don't know. I may be on for like maybe streaming for like another 30 minutes or so before I have more stuff to do. I don't have much lore for the Soul Wings because I just came up with them a few days ago. I don't even have an actual base yet for them, so I'll have to draw one. For colors, Soul Wings are typically shades of white and gray. White, gray, and black. Some of them can also be darker colors, like darker shades of red, blue, purple. They can be virtually any color except for pink. Is really the only color that Soul Wings cannot have, or just not cannot, that they don't have, is pink. I don't have any special like powers or anything for them yet, but I don't know. They're still a very heavy work in progress. They live in the Soulwing province, which is kind of in between the Sandwing, Skywing, and Mudwing kingdoms. It's kind of around like the borders of those kingdoms. They have, like I said, they have feathered wings, and because of the coloration of some soul wings, when they're like red or gold or such, they are sometimes mistaken for weird-looking sky wings. But again, I don't have much lore for them. Like, I literally just made them. Yeah, there's not much else. I don't have much for them. Here I'm just drawing Malicious. I very briefly considered repurposing Malicious to be a Soul Wing, but I didn't at the end of the day because he's pretty cool the way he is, and I like him, and I don't want to have to rewrite all of his lore and stuff. Like, Malicious's name at this point is kind of just an inside joke. He's not even that mean. He's just a permanent grump who is kind of done with life at the moment. The little star that kind of hovers in front of his face and head is not, it has no like special enchanted meaning. It's just my headcanon, one of my headcanons for Nightwings. Like, yeah, we all know how the mind-reading Nightwings have the little teardrop scales by their eyes. And the Future Seers don't really get anything. Like, so I gave them, my headcanon goes that future seeing Nightwings and or Nightwing hybrids have a little like star that kind of floats in front of their head, and instead of having a teardrop pattern along their scales, they have a star scale pattern, like a star-like pattern that goes along their scales, not teardrops. If a dragon has both mind reading and future sight, if a Nightwing does, then they have both powers. Like, they have, they also get an extra teardrop. They also get an extra teardrop by their eyes if they have both. I have headcanons for almost every tribe except Sea Wings and Mudwings. And the only reason I don't really have any for those two is because, like, a lot of my more, well-known characters are, like, Skywings, Sandwings, and even, like, Rainwings in the case of, even, like, Rainwings and Hivewings in the case of Jia Chong, and even Harlequin, which Harlequin is one whom I have not introduced to you guys yet. But she is interesting. I definitely like writing about Harlequin. Like I have a feeling a lot of my well-known characters are going to end up being like my Skywings and Sandwings and such. Like, for example, Malicious, he's a Nightwing Skywing hybrid, so there's that. Just making sure I can get the pen where it's supposed to be. Not much else really, like, to do. For headcanons, I've already said my Nightwing headcanons. For Skywings, the only influential, like, headcanon I have for them is if a Skywing has fire scales, their wings kind of reflect that, and they move around like an active flame, like their wings look like fire. For Sandwings, there's the small chance that a Sandwing's tail barbs can be hollow, sort of like a rattlesnake's tail, and they can rattle it. But I don't draw a lot of characters with those headcanons, so for Silkwings, I draw Silkwings as really fluffy, like kind of like moths and butterflies. Like, have you seen those close-up pictures of moths and how fluffy they are? That's what I think Silkwings kind of look like, is that they have, instead of underscales, they have, like, they do have the scales, but it's under their the fur. They have a lot of fur on their chests and by their wings. And Silkwings, I can't remember what it's called. Flame Silk Silkwings have like fluffier antennae. That's really all that I have for them, is just Silkwings are really fluffy. Like, there's not really much else to it. They're just really, really fluffy. I'm gonna wait for that ink to dry so that I don't, like, go to erase it, the underlying stuff and the ink goes over. I'm gonna set this. But oh well. I think it's fine now. I think it's fine. I haven't seen it like smearing at all, so it's not really smearing at all. So that looks really good. I like this a lot. I'm not erasing it on the desk because the desk will wobble around and it'll make my phone fall. And because I don't have an actual, like, no kidding phone stand. So if I, like, shake the desk around a little too much, my phone falls over. The only things I have holding my phone up are a bunch of, like, my school books and this random fidget cube that I have. Alright, I gotta get my, like, colored pencils and stuff. I'm not gonna use the tiny ballpoint. Is this a ballpoint? No, it's not a ballpoint. I don't think it doesn't say. Whatever. Use some more of my markers and stuff. Just pull out some just start coloring this in. Oh, it has a fine tip. That's good. See if it bleeds through the paper. I feel like I'm just gonna see if I can find like another piece of paper I can put under that. Is there one somewhere? I don't know. Because I don't want the paper to bleed through. I really don't want the paper to bleed through to the other side. I don't want the ink to bleed through. I'm gonna see if I can find one. I don't think I can. Oh well, I mean, I guess as long as I don't, like, color over the same spot too many times, I guess it should be fine. Oh well. I'll just color some of the spines and see. I mean, kinda. Like, it doesn't look obvious, I guess. I mean, as long as I don't go over the same area too many times, it should be fine. Oh well. I mean, I have a lot of work in progress stuff, which is why I haven't been posting as much. I have a lot of characters who all have a lot of lore, and some of it is interconnecting as well, especially Ash and Horizon have interconnecting lore. Malicious and Ash have interconnecting lore. Pitahui and Malicious. Maelstrom is a maybe. Like, I have so many characters, I can barely keep count of them all. Making sure it's not bleeding through the paper. I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, it looks fine. Like, I have a Sea-Wing Prince. And then, granted, a lot of the stuff with a lot of my characters takes place in my AU, not like the canon Wings of Fire timeline. But even then, my AU, my alternate universe, it doesn't stray extremely far from the canon. Like, a lot of the stuff that happens in the main Wings of Fire series still happens. Like, the War of Standing Succession is still a thing. Really, it's just a more, like, futuristic version of Wings of Fire. Like, it's not even that crazy. It's just futuristic. And a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna write about takes place after the events of book 15. So like I've already kind of started writing it out actually, but it's really, like, it's just a futuristic version of Wings of Fire. All the stuff with the Sandwing sisters and the Breath of Evil and all that still happens. So it's not a complete AU, and it doesn't take place like hundreds of years in the future or whatever. It takes place in the exact same timeline. It just takes place like a few months to a year after book 15. Because there are like Silkwing gang leaders and stuff. And but you know, it's all great. You know, my sketchpad was a little far back. Like I was trying to color in the horns and the tips and stuff. Those are always a little hard to do. That's starting to come into focus a little bit more. Starting to come in a little bit better. Yeah, Malicious's whole name, his name is literally at this point just, like, it's just an inside joke. He's not that mean. He doesn't actually strive to watch the world crumble. He's not really mean. He's just a permanent grump who's just kind of done with life and everyone, and just wants to get a little bit of revenge on those who wronged him, but at the same time he doesn't deliberately go out of his way to just, like, I don't know, to pull, like, some crazy stunt of some kind. I forgot a little detail. Oh. Where's that pen? Like, we're doing D&D alignments here. Malicious is your standard, like, chaotic, neutral kind of character. You know, there are a bunch of my other characters where, in terms of, like, alignments, it starts to get, like, really, really complicated. And I can't really, like, say too specifically about where exactly these characters fall under the scale of, oh, are they evil or not? Harlequin is a pretty obvious one. Like, as soon as I start posting art of her, it should be obvious, I would hope, where she is on the spectrum of good and evil. But at the same time, with a lot of these so-called villains of my AU, what's gonna end up happening is a lot of them aren't actually really gonna end up being villains. a lot of them are actually the stuff they do. As soon as you see like their backstories and stuff, the stuff they do starts to make a little bit more sense. Because I like writing anti-heroes and antagonists better than just straight up protagonists, because then I feel like I have a little bit more leeway, I guess, with, or a little, not leeway, but I feel like there's more I can do with their characters. Like, if say, like, I have a villain character, which I do have a villain, I do have villain characters, but for the sake of what I'm saying here, if I have a villain character who I don't really want them to keep being a villain, I can just have them have some kind of like crazy character development where they realize, oh, I don't have to do this, and they end up doing good, I guess, or not even becoming full-fledged protagonists. Maybe they just end up being an anti-hero, not a full-blown hero. That looks good. Very glittery. It's very glittery. I like that a lot. I might have to make it darker, but it should be darker, but it's fine. I'll put in like highlights and shading and stuff. So I don't think it bleeds through the paper. And that's good. A lot of the old protagonists of Wings of Fire will make appearances in my AU, but they won't be like the main characters, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I can say for certain that Qibli will make an appearance, but he will not be a main character. He will not be like a main point of view character. Like, there may be like a prologue or an epilogue or something from his point of view, but he won't be like a main character. Because I just don't feel like writing Qibli. I need to go over that again. I did actually put a new magic system in Wings of Fire alongside Animus Magic to somewhat help with the plot hole that is Animus Magic. So Radiance and Malicious are, by definition, not Animus Dragons. Radiance because Radiance is a straight up goddess. Malicious because the power that Malicious possesses, well, one, it's not inherently his. He got it from someone else. He got it from another god. And Malicious's whole deal is, well, part of his deal is that he's a necromancer and does stuff with, like, the dead. Like, he could summon a whole undead army if he really wanted to, but he doesn't because he really just doesn't care enough to do so. And Radiance, like I said, Radiance is a straight up goddess. Like, she can do whatever she wants, essentially whatever she wants, whenever she wants. And that includes bringing back dead dragons. This power, like I said, it's not animus magic, rather it is an ancient, more powerful form of magic that essentially predates animus power. And it all really starts with Radiance. Like, that's what it all really boils down to. Is it all starts with Radiance. And how that works is because Radiance is older than the kingdoms. And is older than freedom. The thing is, Radiance comes from a time similarly to freedom. Radiance comes from a time when there were no tribes. And just as there were no tribes, there were no kingdoms. Rather, the continent was ruled entirely by one dragon who had enough determination to claw their way to the top of the pecking order, essentially. And it wasn't relegated to only female dragons can rule. Literally anybody could rule the continent. The Radiance literally ruled the continent before she was very much sealed away by another dragon who possessed magic, and she's been stuck in there for eons ever since. Her temple, the temple she was sealed in, still stands in the Sky Kingdom to this day, to the present day of Wings of Fire. And the power, like I said, that Radiance possesses is not animus magic, nor is it, like, it is not a, like, this is what I'm looking for. This is kind of what I'm looking for. So, orange. Yeah, that looks orange. Radiance essentially just got a little too power hungry and ended up being sealed away in her own temple. So, you know, good for her, I guess. It's like a bright red. That's what I need. I'm looking for a bright red. This could work. This looks. I have not used this pen before. This pen is being weird. I'm just trying to color in the freaking. Just trying to color in the dragon. Yeah, I'm just gonna find a different pen. Let's see. This looks like it could work. It's still like it looks kind of. Nope, that's good. Okay. This one works. Enemy. Like, I've read every single Wings of Fire book at least once, all the way through, except for Dragon Slayer, and the only reason I have not, like, completely finished Dragon Slayer is because I just haven't been able to get into it. I've tried to read it like twice, 2 to 3 times, and I've never really been able to get into Dragon Slayer. So I just haven't read it. So I just haven't really bothered to really like read it. Some people say it's good, some people don't. I personally like it. Based on what I've read, like I've only ever read like half of the book. Because I forgot to put one of Malicious's little details on him, and like, why do I keep forgetting the primary details that make my characters them? My primary deal, it's not really a problem with Dragon Slayer. Like, I know some people in the fandom like Dragon Slayer, some people don't. Me personally, I don't really think it's that good. Like, I personally don't like it as much. Not really because of the fact that it's from the point of view of humans. That's not my problem with it. It's just the fact that, like, okay, maybe it is a little bit about the humans, but I just don't understand. I think did I put the wrong color again? No, I didn't. Okay. Thank Jesus. But Malicious and the Dragon Slayer thing. Anyway, back to the Dragon Slayer thing. Oh god, I was like squirreling off for a second. Dragon Slayer, I never, like I can say, at least I can say I tried to read it. But I've never ended up actually finishing it, and I probably never will. The first time I read it, I read the prologue and the first 3 chapters, and couldn't get into it, so I just put it down. But then again, at the time, I was also reading The Count of Monte Cristo as well at the time. But, oh well. And then the second time I tried to read it, I got almost halfway through the book. Yeah, I'm just not gonna, like, read it, probably. Like, I have heard of the Arc 4 announcements and stuff. I'm just not sure what the Arc 4 books would be about. Like, what would the main antagonist be? Because if the Breath of Evil was supposed to be, like, the big, bad, like, finisher thing, like, if that was supposed to be the end of the series, and the Breath of Evil was supposed to be, like, the big, like, end-all, be-all, who would be the villain for Arc 4? Because I don't think anyone would bring back Darkstalker. Because if Darkstalker were to put on, if Peacemaker would have put on one of Kibley's enchanted earrings, he would turn back into Darkstalker, and then he would turn into dust, I'm pretty sure. Or something like that. I mean, imagine that. But I feel like we need another Mudwing point of view character besides just Clay. So I think the only tribes who haven't had more than one point of view are, I think, like, the No, it's not the Ice Wings. The Sky Wings and the Mud Wings, I think, have each only had one point of view character. Oh, there's also the Leaf Wings and the Hive Wings as well. Like, would it be, like, I don't think the main villain of Arc 4 would be someone we've already met. Like, I mean, it could be Chameleon, but Chameleon doesn't have Darkstalker's scroll anymore. So what would Chameleon be able to do? Like, he doesn't have Darkstalker's scroll. I don't know, I don't think it said anything in the books about if he still has his ways to, like, the little things that make him, God, what is it? It's little pieces of the scroll that allow him to change into other dragons. His other little forms. I don't know if he still has those. I don't think it was ever brought up in the book whether he still had them or not. I think he does, because in book 10, he was seen in the, God, what was it? In the Sandwing, in the Scorpion Den, as Bog the Mudwing, after Darkstalker had come back. So I think he may still have his ways of, like, transforming into his other dragons. Oh, that would have been a much better color to use, I think. Oh well. Like, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just confused as to what it would be about. If the Breath of Evil was supposed to be the big underlying scheming bad guy thing. I don't know. But I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, I mean, I have all my stuff, all my little stories and stuff I'm working on, so, which I guess could basically be considered Arc 4. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider it an Arc 4 or not. Where's that color that I used? I don't know where it is now. Where did I put? There it is. Like, it just... Still consistently checking to make sure it doesn't bleed through the paper, because that would not be fun for me. The whole Breath of Evil plotline, though, is my main problem with Arc 3. Overall, Arc 3 was good. It's just the whole Breath of Evil plotline that just doesn't really make sense. And then I also don't understand the concept of leaf speak with the leaf wings. I can see why it might be cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool. Like, the concept of it is really, the concept of leaf speak and stuff is really cool. I just don't understand how it works. Like, so are the plants sentient, or, like just are plants in general, like, are they sentient? Because I feel like the whole thing with leaf speak would imply that they're sentient, or it implies that they're, oh god, like, they're sending out, like, sound waves of some kind, or, like, a frequency through the air that enables them to, quote-unquote, talk. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would like, though, winglets, or legends about stuff like the Tree Wars. and the oh god, the scorching. Like, that sort of thing would definitely be cool. Definitely that would be cool to see. Um, and then there's Arc 2 though. My least favorite arc in terms of writing and like story writing has to be Arc 2, honestly. Like, now don't get me wrong, Arc 2 was good. Like, yeah, it was good, don't get me wrong. The plot was very messy. And I just didn't like it as much. The way that Darkstalker was defeated felt also pretty anticlimactic. It went against the whole theme of that arc, was you're not supposed to use animus magic to, change a dragon against their will, and what did they do to defeat Darkstalker? They change him against his will. Now, granted, he did take the strawberry from Foeslayer, which that's also a common detail that people get wrong. And it's not like it's a major thing. I didn't even remember it until a while ago. But, yeah, Kinkajou isn't the one that gives Darkstalker the strawberry. It's Foeslayer. And then Arc 1, again, solid beginning. Arc 1 was very solid beginning. Only, I don't even know if it's really a complaint. Only critique I have for it is that the ending for the Sandwing sisters felt pretty anticlimactic. Specifically for Blister. Now, I may be a little bit biased because Blister's my favorite character, but imagine being called the smartest Sandwing sister and then being dumb enough to just take the Eye of Onyx. I feel like that kind of goes against everything that her character is supposed to be. Because if she's supposed to be the smartest sister, shouldn't she know not to really just run up and grab the Eye of Onyx at first sight? I feel like Blister especially would know that, but apparently she didn't. Now, one villain's ending who I think was actually pretty good, like one villain's defeat in Wings of Her, was Queen Scarlet's. Queen Scarlet's, I feel like, definitely was actually pretty good. Her going down in a fight against Ruby / Tourmaline, which, I mean, can't say I totally understand. Like, I don't fully understand Animus Magic yet, which is why it's one of the biggest plot holes in the series. Animus Magic, if not used, I guess, is what you could say, I don't know, if not done right, is kind of a total, plot killer. But, oh well. But, I mean, whatever, it's fine. Does this look good? Oh, I should have picked this color instead of the other, glittery, red. And I just found a marker that has a better, color for Malicious and his scales, other than the glittery pen. I should probably erase the outline for it, which I should have done before the just need it to dry so that I don't I have to erase the stuff off my desk, because if I erase it while it's on the desk, it shakes it. It shakes the desk a lot, and I have to, it knocks my phone over, and then I have to put my phone back where it was. Why does this look pink? Maybe it just looks pink because it's in the light. Oh well. Alright. So that worked. I'm just gonna wait for that all to dry before I start doing all of the shading and stuff on it. Okay. Alright, that worked the way I wanted it to. And now I'm actually going to do the shading and stuff on it. This orange. This looked orange when I tried to use it, but oh well. It's like the same color as the orange I used for his, the orange, the red, I guess it does look orange in the light. Should probably use the whites, shouldn't I? Use the whites would work. Trying to make it shiny, but it's not really like working. Oh, that actually looks really cool. I have a feeling, using white on the black would look better. There we go. Alright, that actually, that doesn't look too shabby, except for the scale color that's supposed to be dark red, but it is not because I chose the wrong color. Oh well. I might do like one more little thing. Yeah, I plan on starting a series where I go over each of my characters and what their lore is. So, as long as I can actually do the drawing the way I want it. Really crazy slant in his horns. That does not look. That's not how that's supposed to look. I keep on seeing the stuff on my tablet move out of the corner of my eye, and I think something is coming to get me. No, I don't actually think that, but... There we go. That's looking... It's starting to look somewhat good. Not as good as a lot of my other stuff, but, you know, it'll be fine for now. Alright, that looks mostly good. A little sketch here and there. Doesn't hurt anyone. Alright, that looks... Why did my voice sound so weird right there? This looks good. There we go. This is looking nice. Even though the little star pattern does not, some of it looks a little wonky. Yeah, I can, that's the thing with the symmetry rulers and stuff that I like on, like, my tablet. my tablet and stuff. So I like having the, this time I'm not gonna forget any of his details and stuff this time. It actually looks pretty nice, as long as I don't forget the little I always have a hard time drawing his little Malicious's little star. Really, really tiny. It's always difficult because it's supposed to be broken. So it's always difficult whenever I do it. I'll just outline this little thing. I'm not going to color it in because I don't feel like trying to squeeze all the, like, colors into this small space. Like, it wouldn't look bad. It would probably just look really splotched together. And I don't feel like seeing how that looks. Oh god. And this is the part where I get all the, like, graphite and stuff on my finger. How would I sharpen this? Such a small sketch that's really hard to do. Kind of. But still looks like a messy sketch. Like I don't do those all the time, and that, wow, that star looked really, really out of place there. Oh, he looks like, his eye looks, it looks really tired when I try to outline it, so we're just gonna kind of erase it a little bit and just not outline the eye. Alright. And with all of these fancy little drawings and stuff, I like drew the thing across. Oh my, all my pencils are like not staying in their designated areas. Alright, and I think this little thing is what I'm gonna call it for this stream. All of the like full drawings and stuff will be eventually be posted on the community tab if you want to see those again. I will see you guys next video or next stream. I have a lot of stuff I'm working on that I hopefully should finish sometime soon. I will see you all next stream.